podcast where we interview young, extraordinary people, youth entrepreneurs, and talk about relatable topics for the youth. I'm your host, Wawa.
And I'm your host, Ona.
And today we're joined by Lebo.
Lebo, everyone, guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh, welcome to the show.
So, can you please tell us about who is Lebo?
My name is Lebo I'm born in Free State in 1995 and bred in Western area. As my father was already working in the side, Western area, so my mom and I had to come and live with my pops after my daycare. And then I was bred in Western area, matriculated in Western area, and then my love began in Braamfontein when I came to tertiary. And I think that's it for now.
Okay, so can you please tell us a little bit about your business or businesses?
Okay, it's funny how my business came about, Like I was saying that I'm very in Western area, and then my life became my life. I found my purpose when I went to school. That was in 2015. So I matriculated in 2014, and then I went to varsity in 2015. When I got into varsity, I was blown by the lifestyle that I saw there, having to meet up with celebrities every day, having to climb Mandela Bridge almost every day because of I used to read about it on textbooks and see the stuff that I saw live. I used to see them in TV. So I'd go back after school holidays and stuff like that. I'd go visit my parents, and obviously I have friends at home. I would tell them about what I saw, who I saw, who I wasn't speaking to, and to them it was like I'm telling them stories, So in me, I have this thing of wanting to prove a point, to say like this thing is here, guys. It's here. What's this? You can have it as well, So there's neighborhoods market, in Braamfontein, like there's so much, the street village, and it's a platform or a neighborhood for creatives. So I was inspired by neighborhoods market, and coming to think that one of my friends at school was doing his second year, third year, and he would tell me that he has a brand. His brand, it is just a cap that's branded or printed. The other friend would come and say, I just hosted an event for my brand. I'm like, oh, this is big. And then I went at home and I did the same thing, My first company was Motale Inc. As young people, we don't have knowledge on how to build business and stuff like that. So I have a background of business studies where I went to school, and then in tertiary I was studying public relations. And that got into me of wanting to do everything in paper, like doing it lawfully and how I was taught during my business studies. And then I went to register a business with this friend of mine whom he used to dress properly, this guy, in our neighborhoods, when we see people that dress good, we tend to give them high standards or tend to give them a certain respect. So I went to this guy, Tabo. He had a saloon also, and then I told him about my vision to say I want to do a brand, and the brand was like catered in fashion. I was still trying to get my story all together, but I think he understood me very well. And then we registered our first company, which was Motale Inc. As time went by, I was doing everything by myself, like having to plan and to say, how about we do new caps? Because remember in my mind, I had a brand which is like a t-shirt and a cap. So we were doing that, and then I found that I was the only one doing this. And then I was like, I'm not gonna be helping other people grow. So I'm a creative, I'm good in photography, I do publishing, so I had a blog which is called the Morden Us. And then I decided, I used to also get compliments, by the way. My friends were like, my blog used to look like a magazine on how I publish my stuff, the layout and everything. I'm like, this guy, they think I can run a magazine. So I took the whole entire concept that I had with the friend and said, this is what I'm going to do. So the Morden Us was this. And then how did it become the Morden Us? Because of most people also, they like the name. Why the Morden Us? As young kids or as black kids, just to be specific, we always had talents within us, because of as you check when you grow up, we play bodyguard or indigenous games. So I take that as a talent or as a skill, So this is the new us as the new generation. Back then, we didn't have the platform to embrace who we are. We were like limited because of the information or the resources and stuff like that. Then I said, this is the modern us, the new generation, which is going to embrace their talents and skills with whatever they had. And then I started doing what I do. So yeah, I think that might be. Let me just give you guys a platform to ask me more questions. I might go over and over.
So I studied business studies in school. So would you say that it helped you with your business?
It only contributed when I went to varsity, I would say. Because, like I said, in Western area is known like a small town, and it's normally known as a mining area. So face the facts, there's less of youth development activities going on, so I had less of role models and stuff, but business studies definitely did contribute when I went to school. I started reflecting back on who I am and the things that I did and stuff like that. When I went to study business studies, I didn't really know that I was going to have this, but I had business in me because of, fun fact, at my aunt's house, she had like a big yard, so she had trees of your peaches, you can name them, peaches, your pears and stuff like that. And there were a lot of them, so most people would come to our yard and ask for peaches. Sometimes they'd give them and sometimes you'd get annoyed to say, but what about them? What I would do, I would take plastics and fill them, she wouldn't notice. And then when I go to climb a bus, go to the trees and take my plastics, go to school and sell those. So I would say I've always been an entrepreneur within me, because of also my mom, she's an entrepreneur. So yeah, I would definitely say business studies somehow it's contributing into what I'm doing right now.
And at what age would you say you got into fashion, or what made you get into fashion?
It has always been within me again. So growing up, my mom is a hustler. My mom, I think the way she puts it, so she wanted the best for her kids, so she would dress me like me and my younger brother. I'm the firstborn, and then I have my sibling, my younger brother. My younger brother, I think the difference, it's like 3 years, the gap between us. So she would dress us the same, and we used to have like best clothes. You'd probably think that my mom was earning probably high or making proper money and stuff like that, but it was just normal money, like any normal person would make. And that maybe influenced me to love clothes and stuff like that, because she also emphasized cleanness amongst us. She wanted her kids to be clean, to go out looking good, so that influenced that in me. And then I grew the style, kept on growing.
Okay, so what are some challenges like you faced along the way from starting your business, or things that you thought were going to be easy but were actually hard?
Yeah, like the brand. Having to grow a brand, it's not just printing a cap and a t-shirt. You need to know, how can I put it? You need to know where you want to go. Firstly, you need to know your story, because of, I think what other people misses, or most of our people miss, is that for your brand to grow, you need to have purpose. You need to have a story. You need to know why you're doing it and who you're doing it for, so that it can grow. Because if you can't say or name your brand any name, there's certain things that are going to restrict you. Like for an example, if you want your brand to be published on newspapers or billboard and stuff like that, your name, the name of your brand needs to make sense, and it needs to be sellable. I can sell the Morden Us to you, and I can say and be able to sell the Morden Us to your mom because of the name and how I carry the brand and the brand objectives and stuff like that. So my challenges were finding the right resources or information and mentorship as well, because of in most time, we lack mentorship and guidance. We all want to do things by ourselves and stuff like that. But however, mentorship is one of the most important things that I feel like I also needed, because I do everything by myself. And getting the right people to work with, it's one of the biggest challenges, because like I said, you need to have your own story. You need to have a purpose. So how you carry yourself, that's how people are going to take your brand as. So if I want Ona to come be my my assistant or become part of my team, I need to make sure that Ona has certain values that we meet or align with my brand. So I would say having to get a team, it's one of the most challenges, and finance, but not really. Finance cannot be a challenge that type, because of, I feel like you have to work with what you have so that you can reach other levels.
Okay. So in one of your businesses, right, you make accessories or bags, and they're leather. That's what I've picked up. Did you just decide I want to do leather ones, or is there a reason why you didn't decide to do like different materials?
Firstly, quality speaks volume for me, and I always want to stand out. So everyone is doing almost the same thing. I'm different. Like my nickname is it's Lebza, but it's the Malebza. So there's only one Lebo, which is me. So I wanted to stand out, and I love denim. So denim is something that you can get anywhere also, but it's quality. When you have a denim, you can have a denim for like 5 years, 6 years, or maybe lifetime, depending on how you treat it. And then same applies to leather. Leather is something that's genuine. Same applies to me. I'm genuine. So I feel like I've always wanted to do something, but I was just waiting for a proper moment. So when I was out, I think I was where? I was in some Maponia, if not Maponia, but somewhere around the south, yes. And then I met this guy, and he was doing leather accessories. He showed me his stuff, and I was like, shit, this guy is doing some proper work, And how about maybe I try something as well? And already I was doing some denim work, but having to meet that guy, it actually helped me to get my stuff all together. And now I know that my product or material is denim and leather, which is genuine stuff. You can't go wrong with denim and leather. Those are the best material that you need to own or have by your house.
So is the Morden Us the only business you own?
I do this and that.
Okay.
So the Morden Us, it's more like my baby. It's my baby. And then I have side hustles whereby I just go there as myself, and then the side hustles are being a photographer, being a fashion stylist, being what as well? I would say maybe an event coordinator as well, which is like sometimes I do private events. And then the Morden Us is actually my only baby, which is like it has different leaves. So I'm trying to grow the Morden Us as a group of company, whereby it's going to cater events, which you guys already know.
Yes.
And then I'm trying to also grow an NPO, because I honestly love to see development. I know the challenges that I faced when I was growing up in Western area, and then I want to actually cover the gap. So I have this NPO that I'm trying to grow, which is called Arts in the University. The whole entire purpose is to enhance the art life through street artwork, and also enhance early childhood education. Because one thing that I noticed when I went to tertiary is that there's levels when it comes to education. So the education that people or kids get in the normal schools is not the same education that another kid is getting at the private school. So when I went there, I could literally see that there's a person who doesn't know how to use a PC, like just a normal PC, they can't. And for them, it's a huge challenge. So coming to think that on the other side, I was able to use a PC at a younger age, but if my parents didn't have the means to get me that laptop or that PC, then it was going to be the same story with that kid who doesn't know how to use a PC in their tertiary level. So I want to cover those gaps. The Arts in the University is still growing little bit by bit. This is the baby that I want to focus on, especially this year. If I could see myself probably recognized nationally, then I would know I'm making it. But I have fashion, events, and the arts in the university NPO. Those are the things that I'm trying to focus on right now.
Okay. So what advice would you give to other people that want to start a business but like are too scared to start one. They're scared of failing in the business.
I think maybe like with different age groups, because like, you know, around your age, I would say now that you're older, people think that it's already too late to start businesses because that time has passed. Whereas with younger kids, because they're still young and learning, it may be a different story. So maybe give advice for both different